this. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to playing another game of League of Legends. I'm the Strategy Professor. Do another Janna game here. We got a Kog'Maw on our team. Raka's pretty good. Raka's okay. I much prefer Janna though. Like, Raka's very short range. She has very limited peel. I know we have a lot of Soraka fans on the channel, and I do try to play her. My win percentage with Soraka is like 20 or 25% or something. She's just very situational. Like, if the enemy team doesn't get on you, and you just can sit back and heal the whole time, then she can be really powerful. But if they dive you, and no one helps peel them off of you or whatever, then she has a really hard time. Also, it's really hard to go ward in the dark because a lot of junglers can just run you down and kill you because you don't have a lot of self-peel, aside from just hitting Qs and running. Nice, that's awesome, what a nerd. Alright. Whoa, bro. Okay, they both flashed, I think. Whoa, what? What the hell is this? Man, this is RUFF. It is rough. This Kog'Maw just used his heal to try to chase down the Galio, who still had flash and who had like a third of his health without any, like, we had no slows. We had about a 0% chance to kill him. Jesus, well, he didn't die, I guess. That's a plus. Eventually he can just right click and just kill everybody. That's the kind of champions I like. You get 3 items, you right click, everyone dies as long as I peel them. That's what I like to see. So at least he has that going for him.
Swiftly.
Well, this is going to be my last game, unfortunately, for the evening, so I can't do Karma next game. But I can try to see if I can do one next stream for you. If you like Karma, I highly recommend Lulu. Similar early game harass, a lot more utility later in the game, better scaling. But I can try to play, you know, maybe some at some point. But I'm going to be super busy the rest of tonight and tomorrow. Bork first, gross. I guess at least Lucian's getting the same thing. Go in the upgraded coin item. Hey, thanks for the sub, friend. I can't, what a nerd. I can't. I want to, but I'm literally going to stop this stream and go grade papers for 10 hours straight with no sleep and then go straight to class. physically don't have the time to play one more game after this. I shouldn't have even streamed tonight at all, probably, but I do try to stream at least some every night. I know it's a bit of a shorter stream, but you know, I will be back tomorrow night, hopefully, if I don't pass out. Okay, that was a good roam. Shin does have TP. Good. I like Shin a lot, top lane. Just as a champion. I need a biscuit just in case something weird happens down here. I'm gonna hang back. Okay, there's Swain. Alright, now I've got my ult. Nah, I'll come on at least for a little bit tomorrow. I'll try. I mean, if I can grade these papers really quickly, I might be able to get a couple hours of sleep. Alright, we're crushed them in CS. That's good. S+. A lot of students do very well in my class. Like, academia is kind of in a weird spot right now. In education. Like, grade inflation is very real. And especially for someone like me that doesn't have tenure, and the vast majority of people that teach college do not have tenure, which is the actual professors that make real money. Everyone else is what they call adjunct or lecturer, or, you know, some other thing that's not actually, that doesn't actually have professor in the title. Except for visiting assistant professor, which is also very similar. There's a lot of different names for a lot of stuff, but basically a lot of professors make very little money, and you have no job security. If they just don't want to bring you back next year, they just don't. They just bring someone else in and just pay them, you know, a McDonald's salary. That's not an exaggeration. Like I've said before on the stream, like I would literally, if I just worked at McDonald's right now, I would make more money than teaching my college classes that I teach. Basically what that means, and students get to do reviews at the end of the semester. So what that means is that if you get really bad reviews a couple of different times, you're fired. And you never get to come back. And what do you think's the #1 thing that many students think about when they're thinking about reviews at the end of the semester? That's right, it's the grade. So students are conditioned to believe that they're, you know, really good critical thinkers and writers a lot of the time from high school. Because the same thing works in high school. If you get really bad reviews in high school, or if your students do very bad on these standardized tests, then you can also get fired. So it's just kind of the reality of it, especially in English, because people don't understand, like they don't understand what good critical thinking and writing is because they never see it. They never read it anywhere. No one reads books. Everyone reads, you know, Twitter and everything. So they never see it anywhere. They never have to do it in high school hardly, because all they do is they have to learn how to take a test. That's it, which is not based on critical thinking most of the time. No, just abort. And so it's not the students' fault. It's the structure of our society right now, but that's just the reality of it. Just leave it go. Let it go. They're all about to die. But, so what that means is if you give someone a bad grade, and like what they would consider to be a bad grade in English, which a lot of people would probably think of like a B as a bad grade, because they're so used to getting just straight A's on everything. Yeah, so now they get Dragon. Is they if you give them a B or something, then they're not, you know, they're just going to give you a bad report. They say he's mean, or this professor doesn't like me, or whatever. A lot of the time, because they don't even understand like what good critical thinking writing is. So it's just kind of a reality of it. So you can't really give out a lot of low grades if you want to keep your job in English. Now in math and science, it's different, because you can like prove to them, no, this is not the answer. This is not what the gallbladder is. Or this is not 1 + 1 does not equal 3. You can show them that, and they'll be like, oh, okay. But if you say, you know, this is not persuasive, you do not appeal to the audience's values right here, they're going to think it's a matter of opinion. So, anyway, so how I deal with that as an educator is a lot of people do well in my class, but I make them do a lot of work for it. And I help them become better critical thinkers, and I help them earn that high grade. So yes, you're priced into giving high grades if you teach English at a university right now. But you can still get them to work pretty hard for it and learn a lot of stuff. And really that's what matters at the end of the day anyways. The grades don't really matter. No one cares. I want to make sure you didn't flash that wall. Employers aren't really going to care what your grade. I mean, maybe in the aggregate, but... So there's a variety of techniques that I do to make them earn that. We write long papers. I work with them in class about it. I let them choose their topics. I give them lots of comments and help, you know, challenge them. So they earn those high grades, but they do get a lot of high grades in my classes, as they do in most English classes in college. Unless you're taking it by a tenured professor. So if you're taking it, you know, by a tenured professor, like a 300 or 400 level thing, they can't get fired for anything. So they can give you whatever. They can fail the whole class. It doesn't matter. But it's just not the vast majority of educators. Well, sort of. I think you're right, Josh. There's some of that happens, but a lot of teachers do take pride in what they do, and they do want students to learn. You have to, because why else are you doing it? You know, you're not making any money. So you kind of have to care about students if you're a teacher, I think. Or you just leave and go do something else, which is what a lot of college educators do also. I have lots of friends that go on and do other things because they just get burned out of teaching and all the, you know, they just don't like it after a while. They don't want to die poor and alone in a back alley somewhere. I don't have a lot of things. Oh, he just got stuff. What's up? I have mana. Just... God, this Lucian must be so mad after all this. Did they not get Dragon? Okay, I guess I didn't get Dragon a million years ago. So yeah. I think a lot of teachers do care, but it does create grade inflation. But, I mean, grades just straight don't matter anymore. I mean, I tell students that a lot of times in class. I don't tell them they're going to get a high grade, but I tell them, you know, don't be satisfied with just doing well in your classes, because it's not going to help you when you're in the job market and, you know, you're applying for a job and the other 500 applicants also have a 3.8 or higher that are applying for that job. Your grade's not going to mean anything. What's going to mean anything is if you can really apply what you've learned, apply that critical thinking. If you have, you know, lots of good internship experience, if you have various projects that are relevant to what you're going to be doing, you know, actual tangible things, and who you know, and that type of stuff. But That's right, Joshua. Hey, thanks, Red. I appreciate it. I love it. You know, I love what I do. So I don't, you know, I talk about the problems with education because I think a lot of people just don't know, like, the real story. Like, people think that anyone that teaches college classes is a millionaire type of thing. And that type of stuff. So I do love it, even though I critique it sometimes. I critique from a position of love. I want it to be better. And everyone knows this. Even the professors. It's not like the professors are evil people. The people with tenures, they know that. They know that all the adjuncts get exploited. They just can't do anything about it most of the time. Because there's so many, like, problematic structures that are in play. I mean, it'll all change. It's unsustainable. Like, you can't have teachers basically starving in their cars and students paying, like, 10% more tuition every year for, like, a worse education. Because you're losing all the good teachers. Like, it's just not a sustainable system. Well, all of the admins and everybody else get just, like, these 7-digit salaries and things. Not all of the admins are evil either. But there's a lot of problems. Education's become very commodified. Anyways, okay, game's going on. It's going well. Rumble's a problem. Master Yi has Infinity Edge. I don't like that. I mean, it's okay. I think the builds that I've seen that are really oppressive, I don't have anything. The Kog'Maw plus Shen is really nice. Plus me. It's going to be really hard. We basically have 2 supports. I think the on-hit Master Yi that, like, just gets Blade of the Ruined King plus a bunch of defensive items seems to be the craziest one that I've seen so far. Hey, get off that, bro. That's mine. Yeah, this Shen's making some great plays. Yeah. I mean, well, again, it's not like individual universities' faults, too, because every university's doing it, right? So, Josh mentioned that, you know, universities are spending so much on sports teams and buildings and stuff. They have to attract students. Like, they have to make these palaces. Basically, because they want students to go there, because they're competing for students. And they have to justify why, they have to justify, especially to the parents, why it's worth paying $30,000 to send your daughter to this university. Right? And what's the best, easiest way to justify that? You have some really immaculate looking buildings that are crazy. You have, like, insane looking dorms. You have really fancy looking grounds. You think someone's going to send their daughter there because they're like, you're going to learn how to write critically and think better and get a higher paying job? No. They're going to look at how the grounds are, and they're going to look at the statistics, the employment placement rate. So, yeah. So, you know, they're in competition with other universities because education has become commodified. People don't care what you actually learn. They just want you to spend 4 years in a fancy place and get a nice paying job at the end. That's pretty much what the standard is. So it's a lot of people's problems. It's not just any one people. It's not just admins. It's not just universities. It's not just students or parents. It's a lot of people. It's a team effort. The problems with education. So I don't know. All I can do is just do the best that I can to just help prepare students to do the best that they can once they get out. That's about all I can take care of. And just make sure I don't starve on the street. I mean, thank God I have such an awesome wife that's fine with me being, like, poor with no prospects for really making a lot more money ever. But, I mean, a lot of people are not that lucky. A lot of grad students are not that lucky. It's really hard. I mean, the grim truth of it is it's really hard to get someone to marry you if you're like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, live on a server or McDonald's or something salary forever kind of thing for education. But I mean, people do it every day, but it definitely makes it a bit tougher. Lowers the dating pool, we'll put it that way, especially if they're a professionalized person like my wife who has a pretty nice job. But I mean, that's fair too. People like people of their own sort of like socioeconomic status, typically. Not always, but that's usually how it works out. I get it. I'm not a hater. But yeah, these are all headwinds, and that's why, you know, it's hard to find good educators these days. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, it's really gonna be really hard for them to deal with us. Oh, that was brutal. Don't get knocked up, bro. This is kind of a problem with Galio's support. Things like Janna just wreck him. Like, any kind of good utility support is just going to kite him all day. He's a lot more dangerous in other roles when he gets more gold. Don't have anything. Yeah, you know, as optimistic as I am about hopefully being able to improve over time, I'm not holding out for the call from TSM or someone like that. Now, something that is plausible is at the university, a lot of college teams, or a lot of colleges are opening up eSports teams, and I think that in theory, I could be like a coach or an analyst or something like that, just involved with a collegiate team. I think that's much more reasonable. I think that if I did have a job anywhere in esports, it would be something like analyst, broadcaster, coach, something like that. Yeah, baby, got that A- as Janna. The 0 and 16 A-. What is that, 70% kill participation? Yeah, 72% kill participation, perfect score. S-. Because the rating system makes sense. My wife is hot. My wife's awesome. She is an attractive looking woman too. I don't think eSports is a joke. I think eSports is for real. I think that eSports will pass up traditional sports in revenue eventually. Yeah, probably not going to do that, Muscle Man. Yeah, COG's good. Trying to see what other people were saying here. Okay, so that's it for the stream for tonight. If you logged in, unfortunately, typically I go until about 2:30 or 3 o'clock, but I have like 10 hours of grading that I have to do. So I will be back tomorrow around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I have to go do some stuff with my wife. I have to go to this class until then. Well, I'm not sure about soccer. Soccer's, I think every other sport probably. I think eventually soccer. I would like shoutcasting. That'd be fine. I have to see what they get paid. I mean, hopefully I can keep growing the channel. I do think that, yeah, I could do something with collegiate esports. I'll think about it, Passa. I have not tried the Ashe support. I am a doubter. Hey, thanks, Guy. I appreciate it. Sleep's probably not in my forecast, but maybe. Well, I hope you didn't unsub, Alex. We like you here, friend. I don't know about that. Hey, thanks, Joshua Riches. I'm sorry to hear that, Guy. Hopefully you have some better games today. Or tomorrow. It's probably really, really hard to get into being a shoutcaster. It would be fun, but I'm sure they get like millions of applicants for that. And probably not literally millions, but a ton of applicants for that. You have to probably know somebody, be somebody's cousin or something like that to get into that. Well, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I think the education side of it would be something I would do. So like analyst coaching, something like that. Hey, Ethan, thank you so much for coming back, friend. Yeah, I would say it's fair to say that Bard is situational. He can be good in solo queue, but he can also have some problems. Hey, Hearn, Arclican, Hell Dragon, Red Roku, JK, Douglas, and Joshua Riches. Thank you all so much for subbing. And Murder, Audrey, Basir, Abraham, CF Falcon, Kevin, and Andre. Thank you so much for subbing. Okay, let's see if there's any final ones here. Oh, did I say something that made you mad, Alex? I hope I didn't. You're one of my favorites, friend. I mean, I could try out the Ashe support next stream if people really want to see it. Hey, thanks so much, Mohammed. I try to keep it real for the 30 pluses up in here. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it real. I'm glad you made it out, friend. Bard is good against things that have really high cooldowns on their ultimates. Like maybe it'd be good against a Karthus or good against a like a Zed maybe. People that have some kind of wombo combo they need to line up. Like maybe a Bard into an Ashe arrow, a Bard ult into an Ashe arrow, or a Bard ult into like a Cannon ult, Just some kind of like combo type of thing, but I still think it's really hard to pull it off in solo queue. It depends on the ADC question. If it's a caster ADC, maybe. But in general, I'm not a huge fan. Hey, Tyler, I love Tahm Kench too. I think he's great. You know, maybe someone who doesn't need Berserker Greaves. It depends on the team comp too, and just how much AD you're going to take. I think generally Berserker Greaves are better, but if it's something like an Ezreal or maybe a Lucian, then Ninja Tabi might be on the table. Yeah, I'll always buy Ionian with Janna because I get Locket first. So usually I only have Redemption and Locket and Ruby Sightstone, and none of those have CDR. Well, Redemption does, but Redemption only has 10% CDR, so because I don't get Eye of the Watchers and I don't rush Ardent Censer, I do Locket instead most of the time, then I get the Ionian Boots to make up for the CDR. Also, the cooldown on Flash and Exhaust is really good. A lot of pro players will get Mobies. That's because they need to rotate faster and clear out a lot more wards and fight for vision control better, and Mobies are really good for that, but having the extra CDR, I think is better for solo queue most of the time. I'm not going to say that, Muscle. Hey, thanks so much, Levu. I'm glad you enjoyed the guide. I'm going to try to get some more going. Someone just sponsored a Vel'Koz guide who emailed me earlier today. So Vel'Koz will be my next one that I'll post up. And I'm going to try to get some more up here pretty soon, too. It takes a while to do those. But I will try to get more guides out there soon. Hey, thanks for coming out, Booyah. Well, all right, Alex. Well, I hope you're feeling better, friend. I'm never really if it seems like I'm being aggressive or mean or attacking you, I promise you it's some misunderstanding. I'm a very chill person. That's true, John, but it's okay. We know. We know. We know the 90s. We know what happened on the 90s. Hey, that's right, Zavi. Hey, we've got some viewers in here. I know a few have said that they're like over 50, you know, like 50, 55, that type of thing. So we have all kinds of demographics. And we had one young gentleman who was as young as 12, I think, at one point. I haven't seen him in here in a while, but everywhere from 12 to 55. We try to cater to everybody here. It's hard to ignore someone that's flaming you, but it can be done. You just have to not take it personally and just mute him. I don't have a Tahm Kench guide. I will probably do Tahm Kench soon. He's one of my favorites. He's one of my sort of signature champions from last season. I played him more than anybody, I think, yeah. Had 291 Tahm Kench games. That was my most games. He was up in the 60% range for quite a while, but eventually he fell back down some more. See if there's any final questions. All right, Alex. I'm glad you stuck around, friend. Okay, well, that's going to be it for the night. I mean, I support people wanting to do good things, you know, and make people happy and improve their lives. But I'll just put that in a timeout, I guess. But at the same time, you know, I don't support spam, so. Okay. Anyways, thank you very much. That's going to be it. Like I said, I will be back tomorrow around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to check out the guides, the coaching videos, all the other stuff that I've released over the last couple of days if you want some more content. Sorry I had to cut it a little bit short today. If you're new to the channel, usually I go till about 2:30 or 3 a.m., but I have a ton of stuff I have to do tonight, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to abridge it just a little bit, but I will be back tomorrow a little bit later at 9:30. We'll see how long I can go. If I pass it on the keyboard, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens, because I'm going to be running on like 2 hours of sleep. But I'll see how much I can do tomorrow, and then Wednesday we should have kind of a normalized stream again. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate everyone coming out, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.